Hi, welcome to Hey Parents, Let's Chat. I am Jessica Hunt. Everyone just calls me Jess. And I wanted to introduce myself. Um, I'm trying to create a place where I can facilitate some conversations and get parents talking and sharing about their ideas and their experiences so that we can all learn from each other. And I feel like lots of times, there's lots of video journals out there and lots of video blogs, and people are espousing all of their expertise. And oftentimes we're like, okay, who is this person and what is their background and what sort of credibility do they even have? And so I wanted to introduce myself just so that there was some transparency and the audience knows exactly where I'm at. And so I wanted to first start off with letting you know what I am not. I am not a professional YouTuber. I am not a professional videographer. I don't have lighting special. I mean, I'm like right by my windows. This is just me in a special corner of my house. I am a professional teacher. And before that, I was a professional stay-at-home mom. And so let me just jump into what I am and some of my background. I started out in my early 20s. I got a bachelor's degree where I earned a bachelor's in communication, not the media part, but I specialized in interpersonal and intrapersonal communication where I was aspiring to be a marriage counselor and family therapist. And of course, life happened and things changed. And I got a job with a Fortune 500 company, was planning on climbing that corporate ladder, met one of the first blessings in my life, met my husband, and we got married. I was about 9 years into my corporate life, and we decided to have children, and I decided that was not the life for me. And that I wanted to stay home and take care of my children, which I did. My husband and I decided that together, and it was one of the greatest decisions we ever made together. And so I stayed home, and for about 5-ish years, my son hit kindergarten, my daughter was in preschool, and then I'm like, okay, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. I can't stay at home while they're at school. That would just drive me crazy. I don't want to be a housewife. I enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom, but I was trying to think forward and what I was going to do with my life. And I thought, well, I'll try teaching because that seems like a career that makes the most sense and would make sense for my family and our schedules, and how convenient would that be? And that's literally how I looked at it. So I started subbing at the local elementary school. And that is where I fell in love with the first job ever in my life. I've had jobs since I was 16, and every job was basically just to pay the bills. And all of a sudden, I was now in a job where I am, for the first time, loving my work. I started out as a substitute teacher, and then I decided to get into the school system, and I became an ed tech in the special education department, and then I became an ed tech, which is like a teacher assistant in the kindergarten classrooms. And that's when I decided I need to do this full time. I went and I got my degree, my master's degree in education, elementary education. I literally just fell in love with this job. I remember subbing in must have been a first or a second grade classroom, and it was right around Christmas time, and I'm subbing in this class, and there's children sitting at their tables, and they're all doing their work, doing the assignment or the project that I gave them, and I'm sitting at the teacher's table, monitoring, doing my job, and all of a sudden one of them started singing Christmas carols. And then another one started piping in. And the next thing you know, I am sitting in this classroom with these children singing together while they're still working, just singing Christmas carols. all together, quietly, beautifully. And I was like, how could I do anything else? What a special career, what a special profession to be with these little ones, and teaching them and, witnessing all of these special moments. And I literally feel blessed as a teacher that I get to spend so much time with other people's children. That is an honest assessment of my job. And so that was just one of the stories of me falling in love with teaching. There are others. There was another moment where, oh my goodness, I was, I think, in third grade substituting, and there was a student who was really stressed out and clearly not paying attention to her work. And I went to go check in with her. I'm like, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? How can I help you, focus and help you with the lesson? She was clearly not paying attention. She wasn't being distracting or disruptive, but she just wasn't engaged at all. So anyway, through this conversation, she says to me, my shoes are too small and I don't know where I'm going to get another pair. And I was like, whoa. Okay, here was one of the first lessons I learned about teaching. Children have to have their basic needs met before they can be expected to actually absorb anything academic. and this girl melted my heart. And so anyway, I set on my mission and I got my master's degree as I was in ed tech in kindergarten, and then spent a year as an interventionist or like a tutor where moving on. I ended up into my own classroom, taught fourth grade, taught fifth grade, and that is where I have been for the past, I'm on 9 years now. So I've been about, I would say 14-ish years in the educational field altogether. And I have learned a tremendous amount about myself, about children in general. And so that's my professional background. Again, I am not a professional YouTuber. This is my side gig, and this isn't even something I'm doing to make money off of. This is something I'm doing because I have an interest in it. And it's become this sort of project that sort of blossomed from one thing into another, and this is where I'm at. And it is completely real. I am shocked that you haven't heard dogs barking yet. And I try to get these videos in when there's nobody in the house and I have a little bit of peace and quiet. But eventually, I'm sure that you'll end up hearing my husband, come into the house, or one of my kids. But anyway, again, I just wanted to point out, this is just me keeping it real, just being myself, and hoping that all of you as an audience are going to do the same. I really want to have real conversations. I don't want to have these fake conversations of us out there as the perfect parents, not needing any help, not having any troubles, because that's not real life. And I hope that you will learn that through every one of the videos that I present. I just want to present real life so that real moms and dads out there can benefit from our conversations and become better parents themselves. That's the ultimate goal for all of us. And I think my ultimate goal for this as a format offered to parents. Anyway, that's a little bit about my educational and professional background. My personal background, again, I married my husband, and he and I together have had 2 children. We first had a son, and then we had a daughter, and I really feel absolutely blessed in my life. First being blessed with my husband and meeting him and marrying him and creating a happy household, but then also being blessed with my 2 children, who I do have to tell you are absolutely opposite. And anyone that knows my children are going to be like, wow, they are so very different. And our parenting journey has been anything but perfect. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. I feel like there is so much out there that as I'm going through my parenting journey, I'm like, why hasn't anyone talked about this before? Why is this a newsflash to me? And so that's why I wanted to do this, because I feel like there were so many moments growing up where I was like, this is not just hard, but this is stupid. Like, why didn't anyone talk to me about the fact that, frankly, breastfeeding hurts? Sure, most natural thing in the world, blah, 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 wonderful. It hurts. No one's ever taught. What? How come I didn't know that? Another one. How come everyone thinks they have all of this time to parent their children? You know what? I used to think I had at least until my children were legal adults at 18. That's not the case, and there'll be a whole video dedicated to that. I feel like there's just a lot of things that through my parenting journey, I was like really frustrated and really sort of dumbfounded. Like, and I read all of the books and the magazines out there, and yet there were so many things where I was like, wow, how come no one told me that? You know, why was that a big surprise? So anyway, our journey as parents has been a complete roller coaster. My children are absolute opposites. They're 2 years apart, almost exactly. Both born in the same month, 2 years apart. And I used to literally go to my parent-teacher conferences at school, and teachers would have no clue that our children were from the same household. And I'd walk into my son's parent-teacher conferences starting off with an apology. I am so sorry that you have to deal with him. And with my daughter, they'd be like, oh my, she's the absolute opposite. And I shouldn't say that. My son wasn't always like that. Through elementary school, he was a darling. And then as soon as middle school hit, it was like, who are you? And so he, from the middle school to high school years, that was a challenge, to say the least. And my daughter was, very academic, very hardworking. Again, I told you you'd hear dogs. And so she is doing like super well academically. I'm just going to let him out. One moment. Okay, we're back. I'm so sorry. Again, this is real life, just keeping it real. And so my daughter was a super hard worker and wanted to always be super successful in school. My son honestly believed he had way better things to do and could have cared less about school. And it was like pulling teeth just to, get him to graduate high school. He was always a little bit like 10 years ahead of his time. He was ready to go out into the workforce and do all of the professional things and be on his own when he was like 15. And so anyway, they were both very different. And now I look at them I'm just absolutely in love with the people that they have become. And I am very proud of both of them. Even though they are completely different. My daughter is right now going to college, and she's on track to graduate with a 4-year degree in 3 years because she's just such a hard worker. And my son he went through many different jobs, trying different trades, and through all of his hard work, he right now got a CDL license, and he's working for this great trucking company. He's working full time. Through one of the companies he worked for, he ended up with a 401k when he was like 19, when he was, before he was at the job he's at now. He's had about 3 jobs, going through like the welding trade and then moving into trucking, absorbing all of the overtime he possibly can. The kid was just so motivated, and did such a great job successfully. He's really... And there's my other dog. And just did such a great job saving money, having goals, setting them, and then moving towards them. And so he ended up buying his own house at 20 years of age. So dealing with how to get a mortgage and dealing with the real estate market. Incredible job for a kid his age. And so again, very different career paths, but just amazing kids, wonderful human beings. And so I feel like that's where I am at. And I want other parents to know as they go through their parenting journey that eventually you do get there, and it's not easy along the way. And that's why I'm hoping that this sort of discussion place, I don't know what to call it, these video chats, these conversations will be able to help parents along the way to learn from some of us parents who've already been through it. We can have some of those conversations and hopefully help other parents out there. And so I hope this has helped you to get to know me a little bit. And again, know that my videos are not going to be perfect, but I do hope that you find value in them. And I hope that you do enjoy them. And I'm going to end this while I go let my dog back in. Anyway, I look forward to our next chat, and hopefully along the way, you can subscribe, like, share these videos, invite others to join these conversations. You can go to heyparentslетschat.com, where you can click on the email link, where if you have topics that you want to see discussed, I'd be happy to entertain those and create some videos for you. And also, if you hit on the link where I can send you email notifications, and I'm not going to bombard you with junk email. This is literally just to let you know there's a new video out there. That's it. I'm not going to play games with people's emails. It's just to create an email list. That way when there's a quick notification, new video out, that's it. I hope you enjoy. And until our next chat, thank you for joining us.